I'm gonna go ahead and do a chili video here. Potter Piper was kind of curious as to how I did this. So we'll start. I've got 5 pounds of 85-15 grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef. It's a little pricier, but it's better for you. So it's like $7.50 a pound, something like that, maybe $8 a pound. These come in a pack. It's just, well, as you can see, bell pepper, yellow, red, orange. I get 6 jalapenos. I cut them up. Don't worry about the seeds. I promise you they will cook off. It will not be spicy. Medium-sized yellow onion. I do the whole thing. That's about 3 habaneros. I don't use the seeds. It's easy to cut around it. As far as spice goes, I mean, the main base of any chili is going to be chili powder and cumin with whatever spice you want. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got I've got like 4 tiny cloves of garlic in there cut up too. That's important. But like I said, I find 3/4 of a tablespoon of chili powder per pound of ground beef is what you want. What's going on my focus? But if you were to go online and look, they're going to tell you for an entire 5 pounds of chili to use like a tablespoon and a half. Well, enjoy your food. That's not how you cook chili. That's how a lady cooks chili somewhere in the city, and she doesn't have a clue as to what she's doing. So I'm telling you, 3/4 of a tablespoon of chili powder per pound of meat. So I've got, what I do is I brown my meat, and what I'm doing today is I'm actually dumping out all my grease because I found that at the end, there's too much grease in it, too much fat. This is not a very organized video.
Well, no, you have people walking in and out.
That's okay. But I used to cook bacon first in here, but I quit doing it because it was too much work. So now I just add the bacon lard, and it imparts that same bacon flavor. Problem is, I was keeping the original grease that cooks off this ground beef, and it was too greasy. So I poured a lot of that grease today in here, and that's quite a bit. I didn't dump it all out. That's just the ground beef grease because I still want those flavors to be imparted to the meat. So, again, after you chop everything up, you're gonna brown all your meat. Dump out as much grease as you want. You don't have to. You're definitely gonna want to leave some in. It's gonna impart that flavor. I put 2 dollops, about that size, on the picture. Well, that's kind of big, actually. I used a spoon, not a damn cooking spoon like that. I put that in there after pouring out this. And then once this is brown, I add all my seasoning. I already did it. The only thing that's missing here, because I had to redo this video because my storage ran out, I put a 1/2 cup of beef broth, which is already in there, on top of all this. And again, the main important thing is 3/4 of a tablespoon of chili powder per pound of meat. I put 4 tablespoons for 5 pounds of meat. I put a semi-heaping teaspoon of cumin. I put 4 pinches of this. That's my cumin. I just do my, this thing is not, come on, man. I do all this by feel. My oregano, my peppercorn medley. That's the chili powder. I like it spicy, so I typically throw so much of this cayenne pepper that no one else can eat it. Sometimes I make it not so spicy. Even though I have garlic cloves, I still find that adding a garlic powder to it is good, so I use my Heath Ryle's garlic jalapeno rub. Today I'm also throwing some of this hot barbecue rub in there. And God forbid, I never salt till the end because the bacon grease and all these other spices and rubs have plenty of salt content along with the meat itself. That's gonna salt this dish up. So I do taste testing at the end, and sometimes I have to add quite a bit of salt. Sometimes I don't have to add much at all. It just depends on how much of the other spice you put in here and how much grease you leave. Now, I've never poured out this much grease, so this is kind of new for me. So I'm almost considering adding a little more bacon grease because that's a lot. I think I'm going to add a little more bacon grease. One more dollop of this stuff. And like I said, it's easier to put your spices in now prior to putting all these vegetables and stuff in because it's easier to mix it up and to get everything equally distributed. So I'm going to add a little more grease, and then I'm just going to add all this stuff, and I'll be back. All right, I added a couple more dollops of the bacon lard. I poured in my onions with my garlic, my chopped garlic, and my habaneros. I mixed all that together. Then I did the jalapenos, and I stirred it. Then I did the bell peppers, and I stirred it. So we're going to let this break down. All you do is cover it. And I'll let her simmer a little bit. I'll just keep an eye on it. I'll do this for about 30 to 40 minutes. Just whatever. Depends on how I'm feeling. Doesn't matter. I'll come check it every now and then. I just want it to simmer, but it's going to take a little while to get there. Once it starts boiling, I'll turn it down. And I'll just periodically stir it. I'll be back. It hasn't been very long. Don't be alarmed. It's going to take a while for all this stuff to break down. Don't feel like you're going to burn it on the bottom. All the juice is on the bottom. I promise you, you're not going to burn anything. Just continue to occasionally stir it and let it break down. Once all them juices cook out of all that stuff, you'll have plenty of juice to contend with. Trust me. All right, so this has been going for about 45 minutes. I didn't have to wait that long, but I was on my phone. As you can see, there's plenty of lard, grease, and juice. And I'm going to keep the lid off now so I can cook off some of the extra moisture. Because I want chili, I don't want soup. That's why a lot of recipes call for a full cup of beef broth, but I find that just makes it too liquidy once you cook down the onions and the bell peppers and the everything else that goes with it. And as you know, grease and water don't mix, so cooking that off will take quite a bit of time as opposed to just pure. So I'm just going to let this kind of go with the lid off until I see fit. I mean, it's ready to go now. I just will say that when you do taste testing, just keep in mind that when it's super hot, it does kind of mask the salt. So don't salt it to preference when it's super hot, because you'll find that as it cools, it's typically far more salty than you realized. And I'll eat on this for 4 to 6 days. When I get off work, I just come home, I heat it up on the stove, not in the microwave. And it's better the next day, honestly. It'll be better tomorrow than it is today. And that's pretty much it. I'll just add a bunch of cheese to it, not in here, in my bowl. And that's the Rinky Dink chili. Alrighty. Excuse me. I had to add quite a bit of salt. Probably because I poured out a lot of the rendered fat from the ground beef. I don't know how much I added. I just add, stir, taste, add, stir, taste, give it a while. I did add more garlic jalapeno rub, a little more hot barbecue rub, and I went ahead, this is not keto friendly, but I went ahead and added some of this honey rub. This is delicious. All these rubs are great on baby back ribs. You can put it on chicken, you can put it on anything. So this won't be keto friendly chili today. I really don't care. I added a bunch of this, and I've never done that, and it's just marvelous. It's ready to be served. Again, it's going to taste better tomorrow than it will today after it cools down and stays in the fridge for a night. Anyone that likes spicy, I'm telling you, this H-E-B Carolina Reaper pepper cheese is fabulous. So I'm going to spare you the traditional ending of a cooking video where you watch me put it in a bowl and stir it. Mainly because I'm going to do a cup of coffee and go smoke my pipe. I really don't want to eat right this second. So this is the end, my friend. Thank you for joining me today on the Rinky Dink Cooking Channel. Right, Ma?
Right.
See? Mama knows, baby. Mama knows. Y'all have a great weekend.